Hello and welcome to What's Cooking at Lajes, and today to answer that question is TSgt Gale and Katya. Where are you from?
FSS.
FSS!
FSS.
FSS, all right. And so what are we cooking today?
We are cooking Zucchini Crust Pizza. So it's not the, crust doesn't have zucchini in it, but it is made of zucchini.
The crust is actually...
Is actual zucchini.
Zucchini.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. So you want me to get started?
Let's go.
Okay, so our ingredients that we're gonna need is zucchini, obviously. What I do is use 3 cups of zucchini. It's one zucchini per cup is kind of the measurement I use. And then we have our vegetables. We have tomatoes, onions, and bell peppers. And I'm gonna have Katya go ahead and start chopping up our tomatoes real quick. You need an egg, you're gonna need all-purpose flour, you're gonna need some cooking spray, mozzarella cheese.
Mozzarella cheese.
Yes,
yeah.
definitely mozzarella cheese, and then Parmesan cheese, some oregano, and some basil, and some salt. Pretty much that's it.
Mediterranean diet, isn't it?
Okay, so let's go ahead and start cooking up or mixing up our zucchini.
Okay.
So you can see I've got...
Are we going to chop vegetables
We are
too?
going to chop vegetables.
Okay.
Miss Katya is chopping up our tomatoes now. So I've got our zucchini. What I did is I shredded it beforehand. Because the zucchini is really, really wet, I tend to let it dry out for about a day. So I shred it, I squeeze it out in a paper towel in the sink, and then I let it sit for about a day. And that tends to work out pretty good. So we got our shredded zucchini. Get our medium mixing bowl here, and I just put my zucchini in the bowl, hopefully, without it falling all over the place. If I can get it in there, here, let me do this the easy way. There we go.
So it is pretty dry, but just a little moist.
It's got a little bit of moisture to it. Yeah,
left. Okay.
Sure does. Okay,
right.
so it's gonna look like that, and then we're gonna take an egg. Okay, and we're gonna drop an egg in there first off. So I'm gonna crack my egg. And just drop my egg right in there.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're gonna mix it all up so that egg coats our zucchini really, really well.
Right.
Okay.
Got to get that mixed up.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Right.
Definitely mixed up, and you don't have to worry about the uniformity of the zucchini. It's not really that big of a deal. This is kind of one of those things. It's not a precise science and stuff. It's not like baking, so we're not really too concerned.
Okay, so you just
so we got our egg in there. Okay, now we're gonna add a 1/3 cup of flour. I got my flour sitting here with my cup already.
And you said that's all-purpose flour.
It is all-purpose flour, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna try and use other type of flour and experiment in the future, but today is not a day for experimenting.
Okay.
So I'm gonna dump my flour right in there.
Right.
And then I am going to put a full teaspoon, not tablespoon, good Lord. Okay, a teaspoon of salt, all I have is my 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm gonna do 2.
Okay.
Right on the top of it.
A little bit of salt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, and then we get to mixing. So it's gonna look like it's not mixing together at first, but the actual moisture and from the egg and the zucchini that's left over will bind with the flour, and it'll make kind of a weird looking doughy mixture and stuff if you just keep working it. Just keep working. Don't get discouraged. Just keep working it and
Just keep going.
Yeah,
and how's Katya doing over there? Oh, it looks like she's got it
doing
going
good.
on.
She's got it. Good.
I'm done with my
So you
tomato.
can see kind of how it's starting to get a little bit kind of like, I don't know if gummy is the right word to use, but it's starting to kind of gum up a little bit. So that's kind of the consistency we want. I like to look through there, make sure there's no flour kind of left over.
Right, no
you see any white spots and stuff like that. Yep.
Okay.
That's kind of what we're looking at.
All
so
right.
mix it a little bit more.
Yep.
And we should be good to go. So you see how it kind of looks. It's getting nice and kind of gooey, I guess you could say. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So next step is we want to take our cooking tin that I got at the commissary. If you don't have a pizza stone at your house, use a cooking tin, and you want to make sure that you coat it with cooking spray.
Okay.
So I like to use the olive oil cooking spray, and I coat it real good. This is just to keep everything from sticking onto your pan.
Right.
Okay. And then what we do is we just pour this right out onto our pan, try and get everything out that we can. Okay, so it's going to be a big, and then you just spread it out and make it relatively thin. You don't want to get so thin that you're going to see the pan through the through the pizza and stuff, because this is the basis for your crust, and you're going to have to build on top of it. But I like to spread it out relatively thin.
You know, it looks surprisingly moist.
It is, and it'll cook down. We're going to do this cooking in like 2 phases. So we're going to cook the crust first, and then we're going to cook all the ingredients on top of the crust. So once you cook the crust, it's going to come out still a little bit moist, and then you can cook on top of that, and it'll solidify a little bit more. Okay, so I like to spread it out relatively thin.
Yeah, it looks like, what, maybe a 1/4 of an inch?
Yes, well, I don't know if it's that thick. It's not really quite that thick. I just like to kind of get it to almost the diameter of the pan the best you can. You can see it got a little bit of a spot right there, so I'm going to cover that up and everything like that. And just kind of do that.
Wow.
And that's what it should look like. Katya, how are you doing cutting up vegetables over there?
Taking my time.
Taking your time?
Because I wanted it to be perfect.
Okay,
but,
so now that you have your crust, you're gonna pop that in the oven at 450, so it's pretty high.
Okay.
And you do that for, I usually do it for about 10 minutes, just because it's the thin pizza tin. If you have a pizza stone, probably 8 minutes would be fine.
Okay.
I usually go 10 to 11 minutes. So we can go ahead and pop that in the oven right now if you want to, and let it cook, and then we'll come back and build the rest of our pizza.
Let's do that.
All right, let's do
okay,
it.
we'll be back in 10. Thanks for staying with us, and we are back. You know what I'm really looking forward to is I understand that you have got a very special technique in chopping onions. All right.
I don't know how special it is, but it's something I learned. I Googled how to do it and saw it on YouTube.
Of course.
I wanted an easier way, but first, before we go there, we got our crust out of the oven. This is what it's going to look like generally. From when it comes out of the oven, that's 450 for about 10 minutes. You're still going to have a little bit of moisture to it, and then we're going to build our pizza on top of it.
Okay.
But to do that, we need our vegetables first. So what I learned is with our onion, a lot of people chop it a lot differently, but I found an easier way. So what I do is I take my onion and I cut the stem part off of it, so it gives yourself a nice flat surface to use. Okay. And then I cut dead center down the root, if I can, without chopping my hand off. There we go. Right. Okay, so you're going to have two halves, right? And then I just peel the upper half off of this. Okay. Like that. I won't do the other one just for those purposes there. Okay. And then you should chop that down real quick. It's got a little bit extra on there. Okay. And then what I do is I take my knife and I cut slits all the way through through the onion. Okay. So I just cut it almost to the root itself.
And the root is what holds it together, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Come here, you.
Katya, can you smell that? I can too.
Try not to cry.
Aww.
We'll try not to cry. I'll think of something happy that makes me not cry.
Okay.
Let's make sure I don't chop my hand. And then you just cut it crossways, and you've got chopped onion.
Very nice.
Very easy to do.
Okay. So after this, then you're going to start building.
We're going to start building our pizza. So first thing you want to do with your crust, okay, is you want to load it with mozzarella cheese. It says there's a recipe. It says 2 cups of mozzarella cheese, but I like my pizza like all my high school pickup lines, extra cheesy. So I like to just kind of put all my
did you hear that?
all my cheese on the pizza and just build it down. Okay, so I just give it a generous amount. There's no exact science to it, and just put the cheese down. Now, because Katya is a vegetarian, we're going to do half of the pizza with chicken and then the other half without. Okay. So it makes it really easy. Basically, what I like to do is let me check my recipe here real quick. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to just take my onions, my bell peppers, and we cut up green and yellow just for a little color. There's no actual reason why we did it, just for color. Okay, so I like to be generous with my vegetables. Put a little yellow on there just for fun.
Nice.
Okay, I'm gonna put some tomatoes down all over. I know Katya will eat all this.
Yeah. Looks delicious.
Okay, I like to kind of just spread it out relatively even. Okay,
beautiful.
Grab some onion and just put that down as well. Okay, so you could leave it just like this. We're gonna put a couple of the spices on there here real quick, but you could leave it like this, but I like to put chicken on it. So we're just gonna I pre-cook this chicken now, so I don't mess around with chicken. Right. I make sure I pre-cook it, and then it'll get extra cooked in the oven, I guess you could call it. Okay. So I like to throw some chicken on there. I shredded it up.
And it looks like you spiced it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's just a little salt and pepper. I've done it with oregano before, just to Italian it up, I guess you could call it. But you don't have to. You don't have to. So there we got it built, half with chicken, half without. Let's see. We want to go a little more than half with chicken.
Okay.
So there we go. All right. So
absolutely beautiful.
Now that we've got our pizza, we're going to start adding a little bit of spice to it. Okay. So we've got our basil, and I like to add about a half teaspoon of basil. And this doesn't have to be exact, but you know, basil can get a little overpowering. So you want to just sprinkle it all over, kind of generously. And then oregano, we're going to do the same thing with about a half teaspoon.
So about equal amounts.
About equal amounts. You just eyeball it and see how you like to do it. Right. A little oregano. You can smell that oregano too, so it, you can tell it's a little overpowered.
Everything smells wonderful, right? Even without baking it yet.
And then what I like to do, is take some Parmesan cheese, sprinkle Parmesan cheese generously over the top there. So we got Parmesan all over. And then the recipe doesn't call for it, but I throw extra mozzarella on the top.
Of course.
Why not?
Yeah. Just for fun.
Oh.
Remember, extra cheesy. And there you have it. There you have your built pizza. Okay, so now the pizza is going to go into an oven. You have to let your oven cool down from when you do your crust to about 350. You put it in there for anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes. I usually like to go cut in the center and do about 18 minutes.
Okay.
We cook for 18 minutes. When it comes out, we'll have a finished product.
Just so everything kind of melts in.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And then it'll help cook the crust some more too.
Oh, okay.
Yep, yep.
Okay, great.
So,
okay.
All right. So let's come back in about 18 minutes and see how we did.
I can hardly wait.
Okay.
All right. Okay. We're back and it smells delicious in here. Okay, so it's been 18 minutes.
It has.
Are we ready?
We're ready. Let's
I'm
see what we
ready.
got going
I'm
on.
ready. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay,
all
let's grab
right.
this pizza.
Let's
here.
do
See
that.
what happens. Oh yeah. And there we go. All right, excuse me. I don't want to burn you there. All right, there we go. Close the oven real quick.
Beautiful. Wow.
Looks pretty good.
It looks.
So you got to be careful when you take this thing out of the oven because the pizza tin is a little flimsy, you know. So I like to use 2 mitts. I grab one with one and then slide under the other so you don't burn yourself.
Good
So
idea.
yeah.
Yeah, and we had just enough for a second one.
All right, let's throw it in the oven and you can get going. Cook that one up too.
All right. Pizza party.
Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
I'm ready.
There you go. All right, so another 18 minutes. So let's go ahead and cut this up and serve it and eat it. How about that?
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's
You
do it.
don't have to let it cool down or anything.
No,
Just go for it.
no, I go for
okay.
it.
All
Cooling
right.
Cooling down's for the weak and timid. Here, let's get this actually on the half that cut you.
Okay. So this is half a total vegetarian.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Not vegan, but vegetarian.
That's
You know,
right, 'cause we got the
some
cheese. Yeah,
on
we
it,
got the cheese.
absolutely. And the other half is for the carnivores.
For us normals.
Oh, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome. All right, let's grab our spatula here. Let's see what we got going on. Now I will say that this crust won't come out like a regular pizza crust. It's going to be a little bit doughy, so you're probably going to have to eat it with a fork.
Which is the traditional Italian style
It is.
anyway.
Okay,
True.
so we're going traditional Italian today
let's
on
do
our
that,
on our
yeah.
pizza. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. So we got that. Let's get some of the chicken one on there, so you can have some too.
You gonna taste it, Katya?
I am.
Okay.
It looks really
Good
good.
Lord. Got a cheese attack here.
I love it. Looks a little stringy.
Yeah. Well, that's all that extra cheese we're.
There
you go. This one is for you.
All right.
Fork for her.
Okay.
There you go. All right, you guys give it a try. Tell me what you think.
Okay. All right. How about you?
Oh, I've had enough of this. I got a body built by pizza, so
I'm gonna try it.
yep. Have at it. Tell me what you think.
Boy.
It's really good.
Is it good? Okay,
Yes.
good. I'm glad.
I'm not just saying that. It's really good.
I'm not saying that to save my feelings.
Right. Good job.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do it by myself.
You like it? Okay, good, good.
Good job. High five.
All right, thank you.
Good job.
I appreciate it.
It's really good.
All right, so we'll end up posting the recipe on the website if anybody wants it. And happy eating, I guess, huh?
Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.